Morning there. Video for Hannes, but for a whole bunch of other guys. So, what we're going to talk about is this whole conundrum that everybody faces. My boy Steve Liberty, everybody is going through this nonsense with this relay switching stuff. So, what is this thing? Hannes, I'm going to just expand this for anybody else who's in your boat. So, if you look at a helix, a big helix, like the Helix Floor or the HXFX, these things come with integrated relay switches which do this. And what a relay switch does for MIDI, if you're trying to control an amp, like an older amp that has a foot switch that goes in, these work on a sort of control voltage thing. There's two different things for that. One, there's control voltage out, and there's relay switching, which hard switches between two different states. That's how the gizmo works. And what Hannes has in this case is a need to find a box. There's a MIDI Solutions box out there which costs about $100 that needs 9 volts to power it, because you need power to power the relay to do the switch. The mechanism inside this thing is simple. Yeah, not so simple, but basically you want to send it a MIDI signal. It will convert the MIDI signal into a electrical state which goes out on a wire which changes the amp. That's how it works. And that's all well and great. And there's a box that does that, and it's been around for ages. And if you want it cool, there are other people like me who want control voltage out, which is where, you know how you have an expression pedal that sends a varying voltage down a line into a box, like a helix, like anything that takes a expression pedal, any pedal, going back forever and ever, amen. And those can convert to MIDI, or it can make the pedal do stuff. So you will swing a knob or something like that remotely. That's what we're all about, remotely. The problem is, with all these little boxes, somebody makes one that does one thing, somebody makes one that does another thing, and when you start combining all of this nonsense together, you've got to get 9 volts to each and every one of them. That's more electrical stuff, that's more charging, that's more nonsense. The solution is obvious, and that is to make a hub. The Pirate Boys, Sam and those guys, have jumped on this as well, because I've been bugging the living crap out of them. It's like, yeah, of course we can do that. And guys here in Italy have said, well, yeah, of course we can do that. What do you want? And instead of having one thing that does it, or another thing that does it, or you have an HX Stomp, which everybody loves, which is nice and small, and like, go get a Helix Floor. What if you don't want to get a Helix Floor? What if you don't want to change your amp for a MIDI amp? Get a hub in the middle. So we need to check out this Flexi Hub. Check out the Pirate Boys that are doing it, or do more research, or we can push the idea to other manufacturers. Like if you take James Toe and Morningstar, they're coming out with this cute little blue hub thing for MIDI which splits stuff. And it's all TRS cabling, which is nice and small, which fits under the board. The Pirate Boys came out with this idea some time ago. It's who's going to get there first. So what I would suggest is patience, if you can have it. Nobody's gigging right now anyway, and different things are coming to market which will do this stuff. So you should get excited about this and rethink your pedal boards. And is this an excuse as to why I haven't built a pedal board? Probably. You need a solution that does everything all in one, and hubs are the way to do that, because it will take the components that are in a big helix and it will put it in a little box, and you can put on your board what you need. My caution would be, look far ahead at what you need. The control voltage is out, to have like expression out is a big thing, and the Pirate one will do 2 of those. You want more than that? Add another one. The real game here is to see how well these things integrate, and what's the intelligence that makes them talk, and what's the additional stuff that can be added in. That takes some time, so it might be another month or 2. Are you in a hurry? If you're in a real hurry, people can either make these things for you at nominal cost. You can buy the one that's already out there, or buy 2 or 3 of them and go through all this mishmash of finding power for it, cabling for it, and all that. The real solution that is coming down the pipe is something simple where, you know, you got a MIDI input, you've got an audio input into this thing, and it spreads and spews out the MIDI under your board or over your board, but it does it all with nice, neat, cool cabling, and saves you all of this super stress that everybody's been going through. So go and check that out. You know, if you're arriving on this thing, I'm going to stick this on the YouTube thing, goes to the Mini Mad Sinus Club, go and join that, because I think that a lot of people have this problem. There are solutions coming for it, which are going to be pretty cool, and now would be the time, if you have these problems, to get in there, put your voice in, and say, okay, this is my problem, you know, but don't concentrate on your problem, concentrate on the big problem of these things, which is, how do we fit the right amount of smarts into a box that is small enough to go on a pedal board and make all this work? And I'll throw in the other thing, wireless. If you have a hub like this, then your MIDI control can get off the board and go sit off somewhere else, like I am right now, out in the middle of nowhere. Because what I want to do with this damn thing is leave all my boards safe and sound somewhere else and control all this stuff from here, and run wireless back to my Waza Airs and sit out here playing guitar, chilling out, and doing it. That can have applications for pro gear, that can have applications for enthusiasts like me, and that can have applications for people who very simply cannot afford to go out and get a full-on Helix floor. Could you get the same components? Sure. Could be done. Is it worth it? That really depends, up to you, you know. As you like. Do what you want to do. It exists already in multiple things. Get an HXFX. Nobody wants to really hear that, though. If you already invested in a whole bunch of stuff and you want a solution, you need to weigh up what's going to do what you want. And if you want extra bits, I think the modular approach is the way to go, but we kind of need to squeeze all this into a box that costs the right amount, that works for everybody, and that is smart. And yeah, not a plug for the Pirate Boys, as this year, like, you know, I will celebrate the minds who are out there who are making stuff happen as it happens. What's the other thing that does this? The AirStep does have a relay thing that can do these changes, but that's a lot of bucks to get two things if you want to remote it. Otherwise, that can do it, kinda, ish. But think about it, you know, think about it long and hard. Do you want to go around changing all your stuff up or not? So, plenty of solutions for this. None of them would be quite as clear as a super smart hub. There's my 2 cents.